Greetings, everyone. This is Rock Roll Spot Connection with my retro review of Star Wars Episode VIII, The Last Jedi. So, as you may recall, yes, I did a review of Star Wars Episode VII, The Force Awakens. However, Last Jedi came out while I was on forced hiatus, so didn't do a review. That said, with Rise of Skywalker coming out, I figured, well, I may as well hit up Last Jedi and, get some of those easy views. Alright, so, Last Jedi, what it's about. The further continuation of the Skywalker saga. The First Order is trying to wipe out the Resistance. Rey is hoping to learn the ways of the Force. Yeah. So, some quick thoughts. It's not prequel bad, but it's nowhere near Empire good. That's really the biggest takeaway I've got from it. Is that it's not prequel bad. I will die on the hill of the prequels are, at least so far, the worst of Star Wars. So, as for the cast, we've got Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Carrie Fisher as General Leia Organa, Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, Daisy Ridley as Rey, John Boyega as Finn, Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron, Andy Serkis as Snoke, Domhnall Gleeson as General Hux, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, Gwendolyn Christie as Captain Phasma, Kelly Marie Tran as Rose Tico, Laura Dern as Vice Admiral Holdo, and Benicio del Toro as DJ. As for what happens in the movie, so the movie, I will give the movie some credit here and there. First off, it begins with actually a really really entertaining space battle. And it, in fact, picks up, almost directly after the end of The Force Awakens. But yeah, Poe Dameron leads fighter bomber wing to meet the incoming First Order fleet. They take out a dreadnought, but at the cost of the entire bomber wing. And so the Resistance makes a quick jumps to light speed, gets out of the way, and shortly thereafter, the First Order shows up, having managed to track them through hyperspace, which is supposed to be impossible. So they know they can't just jump back into hyperspace, because as soon as they pop out, the First Order's gonna be right on their ass. So everyone's trying to figure out what to do. And then the First Order actually attacks, and during the attack on the flagship, the bridge is destroyed, and General Organa is incapacitated. Which means that Vice Admiral Holdo is now in command. Holdo claims to have a plan. Doesn't want to share it with anybody, though. This pisses off especially Poe Dameron. Meanwhile, Finn is just trying to run away, but he tells Rose what happened about the fact that they can now be tracked through hyperspace, and So they get in touch with Maz Kanata from Force Awakens. I didn't mention Lupita Nyong'o because she's in the one damn scene. So that shit don't count as... That's a fucking cameo. Plain and simple. Anyway. So, Maz tells them about a code breaker that they had to... who could potentially help them. They had to go to the casinos of Canto Bight, though, to find him. So, that's what Finn and Rose do. Meanwhile, Rey has gone to learn the ways of the Force from Luke Skywalker, who wants absolutely nothing to do with her. At all. Eventually, Chewbacca manages to convince him to train her. She has a similar experience to the dark side cave moment from Empire, and so it turns out that her and Kylo Ren are linked to the Force and can communicate over vast distances. So that's kind of neat. That's interesting. And they both want the other at their side, but for differing reasons, and on different sides of the Force. So with Canto Bight, the quick version, which I really wish all that subplot had been this quick. Rose and Finn don't get the master codebreaker, but they do find someone who is they do find another codebreaker, DJ, who can help them. And they make their way to the First Order flagship, get aboard. They're just about to get to the portion where they need to get to deactivate the sensors, and they get captured. DJ cuts a deal. He doesn't have a horse in the race. He just wants to get paid. And Captain Phasma is about to order the execution of Finn and Rose, but everything goes sideways. Back on the Resistance flagship, as by this point, that's all that's left, as the other ships have evacuated onto the flagship and sacrificed themselves because they ran out of fuel. Poe started a mutiny, which I can't entirely blame him. I mean, it's supposed to be this lesson in humility that it doesn't. It really just feels like her, being all, I'm in charge and you're not. My plan, I'll tell you what you need to know. Well, he's still, if they're going to portray him as being important, maybe pass along some of that information. Because there was an actual legitimate plan to get to an old rebel base and use the communications gear there to call to allies in the Outer Rim. So it gets to the point where the flagship is General Organa's come out of her coma. They evacuate the flagship. Holdo stays behind and uses the flagship to ram the dreadnought. Oh, I actually forgot another significant plot point. Before Finn and Rose arrived on the ship, Rey had herself dropped off onto the ship. Was brought before Snoke. Snoke tried torturing her for Luke's location. Snoke and Kylo Ren and Rey teamed up. Kylo Ren killed Snoke with Luke's old lightsaber, and then the two of them fought Snoke's guards until Kylo Ren basically said, "Yeah, I'm not." Like, okay, yeah, now let's turn you to the dark side, right? She's like, "No, you're supposed to go to light," but I'm not gonna. And so they went their separate ways, and yeah. So we did get a really cool moment with Holdo sacrificing herself and the Resistance flagship to basically plow through a massive portion of the Imperial fleet, which does massive amounts of damage, and eventually leads to the death of Captain Phasma. Saves Finn and Rose. They manage to escape. Meanwhile, the resistance manages to arrive on the at the old side of the old rebel base. They have a standoff with the First Order, similar to the Battle of Hoth. Luke shows up, seemingly fights Kylo Ren to a standstill. Also survives multiple hits, multiple blasts from a First Order walker. And it turns out, however, in the end, that Luke was never there. He projected himself there. And, yeah. And then he does this. And that's the last. And he disappears. He dies. It had also been revealed that he had cut himself off from the Force. We do get some backstory. We learn the other side, we learn what happened between Luke and Ben. The remnants of the Resistance escaped the planet in the Falcon, and trying to find allies. So, and seemingly, Rey ends the basically severs the link, the Force link between her and Kylo Ren. So the ups and downs of the movie. Like I mentioned, the opening space battle is really well done. It's just very poorly conceived from a tactical perspective, and I and others really don't think that actually kind of feel like that plays into one of the downs. So I'll get into that later. Kylo Ren's arc is very well done. The problem is it really kind of feels like it should have been its own movie. This is that would have Kylo Ren's arc in this, and it kind of expanded out some, would have made for an excellent Star Wars story to come out right, just right after Last Jedi. Come out, oh hey, so Last Jedi made bank. Check this out. Like, oh well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. The Kylo Ren and Rey versus Snoke's guards is also a really good fight scene. I mean, that's honestly, that was very reminiscent of Duel of the Fates to me. Yeah, Duel of the Fates is still a better sequence, but this was still, I thought, well done, and it did also give us something different in the way of a lightsaber battle. So, props. There is, however, so much wasted potential in this cast. Snoke is a point. It's like there is a point, but he's, everything. He gets killed before he can really do anything. Oh, he tortured Rey. Whoopity-doo. I want to see. I would have loved to see Snoke and Luke share scenes, but oh well. DJ, Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro is a great actor. And DJ is such a mediocre performance from him. It's just like, what the hell? Oh, no, let me rephrase. It's not a mediocre performance from him. It's a mediocre role. He plays it well. It's just, there's so much about him that's just, eh. Rosemary Tran was really given a honestly, I feel like she did the best she could with what she had to work with. Vice Admiral Laura Dern as Vice Admiral Holdo. Again, Laura Dern's a great actress. So why was she given such a meh part, That she could have been awesome. And she fell flat. A lot of the humor feels just out of place. Now, don't get me wrong. There are humorous moments that actually stick the landing and work. Luke messing with Rey during her training. Like when he pulls up, when he waves the grass frond in her face. There's another sequence earlier where the two of them are Luke's trying to ascertain, just why it's Rey that's come here to learn from him, and she said he asked where she's from, and she's like, "I'm from nowhere." He's like, "No, nobody's from nowhere," and she says, "Okay, I'm from," and so she responds, "Okay, I'm from Jakku," and he's like, "Okay, that's pretty close to nowhere." I'm like, "Okay, that's actually that was actually pretty solid." But for every of those moments, you've got the "your mama" joke in the beginning, in the lead up to that opening space battle. You've got that whole day in the life of Luke Skywalker montage, which just serves no purpose. You've got the aliens that take care of the island with the original Jedi monastery. They serve no purpose whatsoever except just oh hey, we did something funny. Like, oh look, something bad, something unintended consequence of what Rey just did is it ruined a day for these characters again. Yeah, I didn't need them at all. The movie feels really just rushed and kind of tacked on. Like, there was no plan going in, or it was kind of just like, okay, well, Force Awakens is a hit, so we got to make another one. It's like, you mean you weren't already planning this to begin with? The Canto Bight sequence just it drags on way too long. Yeah, there's some attempts at characterization there with Rose, but I feel like so much of that whole sequence can be just chucked. You don't need 90% of it. And what I mentioned about the poor tactics of the opening space battle, it kind of comes down. That kind of sticks to this the fact that Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac's character, feels like a completely different character from The Force Awakens. It's like, yeah, he's a pilot. Okay, yeah, he's snarky, but he just doesn't seem like the same. He just seems wholly different. So, yeah. Anyway, overall opinion of the movie, like I said earlier, it's not prequel bad. It's not the worst Star Wars movie. Though I would say it's probably the low point for the Star Wars movies that Disney has made so far. And I hope that there isn't a lower point to come. But yeah, this is currently the low point. However, in the end, it's more just a little bland. Um, I don't know. It's just there's so much where it's just a friggin' chase. Which, don't get me wrong, a chase can be well done, well executed. This was not a well executed chase movie. So, anyway. Overall rating, 3 out of 5. I cannot justify going over a 3. Though I can't justify going, noticeably lower. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow with the weekly comic book roundup. And then later on in the week, we will have a review of, you guessed it, Star Wars Episode IX, The Rise of Skywalker. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you thought about Last Jedi and Force Awakens. Hell, even Solo and Rogue One. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I put new content. And as always, this is Rock from Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.